It started innocent enough, the way these disasters always do. Jake and I had been thick as thieves since freshman year at UCLA. Two California kids chasing dreams in the sprawl of Los Angeles. Him with his easy grin and quarterback build. Me with my sketchbook and the kind of quiet that hides a storm. He was the straight arrow type. Beer pong king, weekend surfer, the guy who could charm a room full of sorority girls without breaking a sweat. Me? Isaac Hale, art major with a chip on my shoulder the size of the Hollywood sign. Nursing crushes I buried deeper than my parents' divorce papers. We'd crashed on each other's couches through breakups, finals, and that one summer when his folks kicked him out for ditching community college. Brothers before, well, everything. But this road trip? It was supposed to be our reset button. Jake had just gotten dumped by his latest flavor of the month. Some influencer named Riley who ghosted him after he wouldn't post her on his Insta. Man, I need to clear my head. He'd sat over tacos at that hole in the wall on Sunset. His blue eyes stormy under the neon glow. Let's hit the coast, just you and me. Like old times. I nodded, forcing a laugh because saying no would have meant admitting how much I wanted it, how much I wanted him. So we piled into his beat-up Jeep Wrangler, windows down, blasting Springsteen as we tore up the Pacific Coast Highway from LA toward Big Sur. Salt air whipping our faces, cliffs dropping into the endless blue, and for those first few hours, it felt like freedom. Like maybe, just maybe, I could keep my secrets locked down. We hit Carmel by dusk, the kind of postcard-perfect town where the streets are lined with cypress trees and overpriced galleries that sell seascapes to tourists. Jake wanted to splurge on a beach house, but my freelance graphic gigs were barely covering rent back home, so we settled for the Driftwood Inn. A faded 50s motel with peeling paint and a neon sign that buzzed like a dying bee. 1 room, 2 beds, Jake told the clerk, slapping cash on the counter with that boyish wink. But when we pushed open the door to room 7, there it was. 1 queen-sized bed, sagging in the middle like it had seen too many bad decisions. The second bed? Nowhere. Just a lumpy pull-out couch that looked like it doubled as a torture device. Shit, Jake muttered, dropping his duffel on the threadbare carpet. He ran a hand through his sun-bleached hair, the kind of effortless mess that made my chest ache. Guess they double-booked or something. You cool bunking with me, is? Like that time in the dorms after the earthquake. I swallowed hard, forcing my voice steady. Yeah, man. No biggie. Inside, though? My pulse was already racing, a traitor to the casual shrug I threw his way. We'd shared bunks before. Drunk and platonic, the boundaries blurred by tequila shots and exhaustion. But this felt different, charged, like the air before a lightning strike. We killed time with takeout from a nearby taqueria, carnitas burritos wrapped in foil that steamed up the Jeep's windows on the drive back. Jake rambled about Riley, how she'd accused him of being emotionally unavailable. Whatever the hell that meant. I mean, come on, he said, waving a chip dipped in extra guac. I'm an open book, right? I nodded, mumbling agreements around bites, my mind replaying the way his thigh had pressed against mine on the hike earlier, solid and warm through his cargo shorts. God, I was pathetic. 25 years old, still pining like a bad rom-com sidekick. Night fell heavy. The oceans roar a distant lullaby through the cracked window. We showered one after the other, me first, the hot water doing nothing to rinse away the knot in my gut. When I emerged in boxers and a threadbare Bruins tee, Jake was sprawled on the bed in nothing but low-slung sweats, scrolling his phone with that lazy intensity that made his abs flex just so. He glanced up, smirking. Your turn, princess. Don't use all the hot water. Asshole. I shot back, but there was no heat in it, just the familiar rhythm of us, punching through the tension like it was just another Tuesday. By the time he climbed under the covers, the room was pitch black except for the sliver of moonlight sneaking past the blinds. I lay on my side, facing the wall, the mattress dipping under his weight like an invitation I couldn't accept. Night is, he murmured, voice rough from the road dust. Night, Jake. I squeezed my eyes shut, willing sleep to come, but it didn't. Minutes stretched into an eternity, my body hyper-aware of every rustle of sheets, every shift of his frame. The space between us was a minefield 6 inches, maybe less, charged with the scent of his soap, clean and cedar sharp. And then it happened. A sigh, deep and unguarded, and he rolled toward me, not away like he should have, toward. His arm draped across the pillow, knuckles grazing my shoulder blade. Accidental? Intentional? My breath caught, lungs seizing as if the oxygen had been sucked from the room. Heat radiated from him, seeping through the cotton barrier, and in that suspended heartbeat, I forgot how to breathe. Forgot everything except the thunder in my veins. The forbidden pull that had simmered for years, now boiling over. I didn't move, couldn't. If I did, I'd shatter the illusion, the one where he was just my straight best friend, oblivious to the wreckage he left in my wake. But as his breathing evened out, steady and sure, I lay there unraveling, thread by thread, wondering if this was the night I'd finally confess, or the night I'd lose him forever. The next morning hit like a hangover without the booze, sun slicing through the blinds, turning the room into a hazy gold trap. I woke first, Jake's arm still slung heavy across my waist, his face buried in the crook of my neck like he belonged there. Panic spiked, sharp and electric, but I didn't pull away. Not yet. His stubble scratched my skin, warm puffs of breath ghosting my collarbone, and for one traitorous second, I let myself imagine it. Mornings like this, no pretending, no walls, just us. Then he stirred, mumbling something incoherent about waves, and bolted upright like he'd been electrocuted. Whoa, shit is, sorry, man. He scrubbed a hand over his face, cheeks flushing that rare pink that made him look almost boyish. Must have been wiped. Didn't mean to crowd you. I forced a chuckle, rolling onto my back to put space between us. All good. You're like a damn furnace anyway. Kept me from freezing my balls off. Lies. All of it. My heart was still jackhammering, skin tingling where he'd touched. But Jake bought it, clapping me on the shoulder with that easy camaraderie that twisted the knife deeper. You're the best, dude. Coffee run. We spent the day shaking off the weirdness like sand from our shoes, hiking the trails at Point Lobos, where the cypress twisted like arthritic fingers against the sky. Jake bounded ahead, all golden retriever energy, pointing out sea otters bobbing in the kelp like furry buoys. Check it, nature's chill as fuck. I trailed behind, snapping photos on my phone, framing him against the rugged coast. Windswept hair, broad shoulders cutting through the mist, that infectious laugh carrying on the breeze. Each shot was a confession in pixels, one I'd delete later to keep the peace. Lunch was clam chowder in sourdough bowls at a seaside shack, steam rising like smoke signals. He talked dreams then, real ones, not the half-assed ones we bullshitted about over beers. You know, after Riley, I keep thinking about that offer from my uncle in San Diego. Coaching high school ball. Stable gig, you know? Get my shit together. His fork scraped the bowl, eyes distant. What about you? Still chasing that gallery dream? I shrugged, salt stinging a paper cut on my thumb. Yeah, got a show lined up in Echo Park next month. Small potatoes, but it's something. Truth was, my pieces were all him lately. Abstracted forms in blues and golds, bodies tangled in shadow and light. If he ever saw them. Christ, the fallout. Afternoon blurred into golden hour, us sprawled on the beach with a six-pack from the motel's vending machine. Waves crashed like applause, and Jake got philosophical after his third IPA. Rare for him, the guy who usually dodged feelings like they were pop flies. You ever wonder why we click so hard? Like, out of everyone. He trailed off, tossing a pebble into the surf, watching it skip twice before sinking. My throat tightened. Beats me. Fate? Or just dumb luck? I wanted to say more, to spill how it wasn't luck, how it was him, always him, etching himself into my bones since that first kegger when he pulled me out of a panic attack with bad jokes and a shared joint. But the word stuck, barbed wire in my chest. He nudged my boot with his, "Nah, it's you. You're the only one who gets it. The mess without the judgment." His gaze lingered, blue as the horizon, and for a heartbeat, the air hummed with possibility. Then he cracked another beer, the moment shattering like foam on the rocks. To us, man, unbreakable. Unbreakable. Yeah, that's what scared me most. Back at the motel, the sun dipped low, painting the room in bruised purples. We ordered pizza, pepperoni and extra cheese, grease soaking through the box like tears on a love letter. Jake flipped on the ancient TV, some ESPN highlight reel droning in the background, but neither of us watched. Instead, we talked shit about old flames. His parade of Rileys and Jessicas, My string of awkward Tinder dates that fizzled faster than a dud firework. You're too picky, he teased, elbowing me. That barista last month? Total smoke show. Not my type. You are, I thought, the admission burning unspoken. The bed loomed like a battlefield, but exhaustion won out. We crashed early. Lights out by 10. The ocean's rhythm our only soundtrack. Sleep came fitful, dreams weaving Jake's face into feverish fragments. His hand on my thigh during a hike, lips brushing my ear in a whisper I couldn't hear. I woke sweating, the sheet twisted around my legs, and there he was again. Curled toward me, face soft in repose, one leg hooked over mine like an anchor. This time I didn't freeze. Curiosity or stupidity? One. I traced the line of his jaw with my eyes, memorizing the faint scar from that skateboarding wipeout in high school. He murmured in his sleep, shifting closer, forehead pressing to my shoulder. Is my name like a prayer or a plea? Heart in my throat, I eased away, slipping from the bed to the bathroom. Cold water on my face, staring at the mirror. Green eyes haunted, lips swollen from biting back screams. This couldn't go on. Tomorrow we'd drive home, back to the safety of separate apartments and plausible deniability. But as I toweled off, a knock rattled the door. You okay, man? Jake's voice, thick with sleep. Fine, just restless. Lie number 200. He cracked the door, leaning against the frame in those damn sweats, hair a glorious wreck. Me too. This place is haunted or some shit. A beat, then softer. Come here. Bed's cold without you hogging the covers. I followed because what else was there? We settled back, bodies aligning in the dark. His back to my chest this time, the curve of his spine a perfect fit against me. Spooning, for fuck's sake. Platonic, my ass. His hand found mine under the pillow, fingers lacing loose, and he sighed like the weight of the world had lifted. Thanks for this trip, means everything. Anytime, I whispered, breath ghosting his neck, and as his breathing deepened, I held on, memorizing the rise and fall, the steady thrum of his pulse against my palm. In that stolen intimacy, I let myself dream, not of confession, but of continuation. Of mornings where straight was just a line we redrew together. But dreams have a way of curdling at dawn. The third day dawned gray, fog rolling in off the Pacific like a shroud, muting the world to whispers. We packed in silence, the Jeep's engine growling to life as we pointed south, homeward bound, the adventure's edge already dulling. Jake drove, one hand on the wheel, the other drumming to an old Tom Petty cassette he'd dug from the glove box. Free Fallon, fittingly ironic. I sketched in my notebook, charcoal smudging my fingers. His profile against the blurred highway, jaw set, eyes hidden behind aviators, capturing him before he slipped away again. We stopped in Monterey for gas and gossip, him venting about his ex's latest social media flex, a bikini pic with some tech bro from Silicon Valley. Bitch moved on quick, he grumbled, pumping unleaded with more force than necessary. Jealousy twisted in me, not for her, but for the ease of it all, for how she got to touch him without the apocalypse looming. You'll find better, I said, leaning against the Jeep, wind tugging at my hoodie. Someone who sees you. He capped the tank, turning with that half-smile that wrecked me. Yeah? Like who? The question hung, loaded, his gaze pinning mine through the shades. For a reckless second, I almost said it, me. Got me. But the pump clicked off, shattering the spell. Some girl who's not afraid of a little real talk. Back on the road, the fog lifted, revealing the sprawl of suburbs bleeding into the highway. Conversation turned to futures, his coaching gig, my art hustle. You should come down to San Diego sometime, he said, casual as fog. Crash at my place. We could hit the waves, grill some burgers. Keep the vibe going. My grip tightened on the sketchbook. Sounds solid, but inside, a chasm yawned, him moving south, me anchored in LA's chaos. Distance as mercy or torture. We hit traffic outside Santa Barbara, the kind that turns a 2-hour stretch into gridlock purgatory. Idling heat baked the Jeep, AC wheezing like an asthmatic. Jake killed the engine, twisting to face me. Remember that party at Delta Sig? When we ditched for the roof and watched the city lights? I nodded, the memory sharp. Stars above, his shoulder against mine. A joint passed between us as he confessed his folks' fights. Vulnerability, rare and raw. Yeah, best night. He leaned back, arms crossed, the motion pulling his shirt taut across his chest. We've been through it, huh? You and me against the world. A pause. Heavy. What if? I don't know. Things change. My stomach dropped. Like what? He shrugged, but his eyes, stripped of shades now, were serious, searching. Riley said I push people away. Maybe she's right. But not you. Never you. His hand landed on my knee, squeeze brief but electric. You're my constant, is. The touch lingered. A brand. I covered it with mine, pulse sinking. Ditto. And in that snarl of cars, with horns blaring like Judgment Day, something shifted. Not a confession, but a crack in the facade. Light seeping through. We made LA by nightfall, the city's glow a neon welcome. Dropped Jake at his Echo Park walk-up first, the one with the muraled walls and leaky roof. He grabbed his bag, then paused at the tailgate. Hey, thanks again. Best reset ever. Leaning in for the bro hug, he held on a beat too long, chin brushing my temple. Love you, man. Love you too. The words slipped out, unfiltered, and his eyes widened fractionally before he pulled back, grinning to cover. Catch you tomorrow? Bruise at the Rooster. Wouldn't miss it. I drove home in a daze, Venice Beach apartment echoing empty. Collapsed on my bed. My bed, solitary and cold. I replayed it all. The shared sheets, the beach confessions, that knee squeeze. Was it nothing? Or the start of everything? Sleep evaded, mind spinning like tires on wet asphalt. The next night at the Rooster was packed. Dive bar haze, craft IPAs flowing, indie rock thumping from the jukebox. Jake was already there, nursing a pint at our corner booth, surrounded by the usual suspects. His coworker Mia, her boyfriend, a couple of surf brothers. He waved me over, pulling out a stool. Shots incoming. We fell into rhythm. Tequila burning down, laughter loud, stories exaggerated for effect. But under the table, his knee pressed mine, steady pressure that sent sparks up my spine. Accidental? I didn't care. Mia dragged him to the dance floor eventually, her hips swaying to some synth-pop banger, and I watched, beer forgotten, as he spun her with effortless grace. Jealousy gnawed, but so did hope, because when he caught my eye over her shoulder, that grin was for me. Later, as the crowd thinned, he slid back into the booth, buzzed and bold. Dance with me next time? Slurred, playful, but his hand on my arm was fire. Only if you don't step on my toes, QB. We clinked glasses, the moment electric. He crashed at my place after too sloshed to drive, or so he claimed. My queen bed felt cavernous, but he gravitated close again, murmuring nonsense about constellations as we stared at the ceiling fan. You're staring, he said suddenly, turning his head. Am not. I. R2. His voice dropped, husky. What are you thinking? Truth clawed up, you. Always you. But I dodged. How we're gonna regret those shots tomorrow. He chuckled, low and warm, then, God help me, leaned in, forehead to mine. Nah, no regrets with you. His breath mingled with mine, lips inches away, and time fractured. I could taste the tequila on the air, feel the tremor in his exhale. One tilt and his phone buzzed, shattering it. Riley's name flashed on the screen. He pulled back, cursing, thumb hovering before silencing it. Fuck her. But the spell broke, awkwardness flooding in. We turned away, backs to each other, the unspoken hanging like smoke. Morning brought coffee and avoidance, him scrolling job listings, me sketching in the kitchen. San Diego interview next week, he said finally, voice neutral. Uncle hooked it up. Congrats stuck in my throat. Proud of you. He nodded. Then, come with? Road trip redux. Temptation ward with terror. Can't. Show prep. Right? Disappointment flickered. Gone quick. Another time. He left with a hug, promising texts. I dove into work, charcoal flying. Portraits of him now, unmasked, eyes pleading. The show loomed, a deadline and a dare. A week later, disaster dropped. Jake's interview went south. Uncle's team folded amid scandal, whispers of bribes and cover-ups. He called me hammered from a dive in Mission Beach, voice cracking. Everything's fucked need you. I drove down that night, for hours of blacktop blurring, heart in my mouth. Found him at a motel not unlike the Driftwood. Beer cans littering the sink, eyes red-rimmed. "Come here," he slurred, pulling me into a hug that crushed the air from my lungs. We talked till dawn, him raging at fate, me absorbing it all, hand on his back. When words failed, he leaned into me, head on my shoulder, sobs quieting to sniffles. "Don't leave," he whispered. "Never," and I meant it. That night, the bed was inevitable, one queen, no excuses. He curled against me fully, face in my neck, leg thrown over mine. No accidents now. His hand splayed on my chest, fingers tracing idle patterns. I think. He trailed off, breath hitching. My pulse thundered. What? But sleep claimed him, leaving me adrift in the what-ifs. Morning light found us tangled, his eyes opening to mine, soft, unguarded. Last night. Yeah. I waited, breath held. He sat up, running hands through his hair. Shit. Riley texted. Wants to talk. The knife twisted. And, dunno, maybe closure. His gaze dropped. But you're the one who matters. Hope flared. Fragile. Then his phone rang her. He answered, voice shifting to that easy charm, and I slipped to the bathroom, splashing water to drown the ache. When he emerged, showered and somber. Meeting her in LA tomorrow. You in? For what? The friend zone encore? Sure. The drive back was torture. Her on speaker, giggling about starting fresh, him laughing along, knee not touching mine. At the rooster drop-off, she waited, blonde, bombshell, beaming. He hugged me goodbye, quick and brotherly. Thanks, man. Oh, you. As they walked away, arm in arm, betrayal bloomed. Not his, but fate's. I'd shared his bed, his burdens, his breaths. And for what? To watch him choose the straight line, every time. The fallout hit like a California wildfire. Fast, furious, leaving ash where hope once burned. Jake dove headfirst back into Riley's orbit. Their reconciliation splashed across my feed. Sunset selfies in Malibu, her tagging him in hard eyes captions. Second chances, one red with a winky emoji that felt like a gut punch. He texted sporadically. Miss our hangs, bro. But the calls dried up, replaced by excuses. Busy with work. Rain check. I deleted the sketches, the ones with his face etched in longing, and threw myself into the Echo Park show. Canvases bled charcoal and acrylic, abstracts of fractured horizons, waves crashing into voids. Critics called it visceral. But they didn't know the half, how each stroke was a scream for what I'd lost. Opening night was a blur. String lights strung across the warehouse loft, hipsters sipping cheap rose, murmurs of approval rippling like tide pools. I stood in the corner, nursing a seltzer, scanning faces for his. He'd promised to come. Wouldn't miss your big night, But as the clock ticked past 9, doubt gnawed. Then the door swung open, and there he was, Jake alone, in a button-down that hugged his frame just right, eyes scanning until they locked on mine. Relief crashed, hot and humiliating. He wove through the crowd, pulling me into a bear hug that smelled of ocean salt and aftershave. Holy shit, man. This is incredible. His gaze swept the walls, lingering on a piece. Two figures blurred in shadow, hands almost touching. That's us, isn't it? The road trip. My throat closed. Inspired by. Yeah. He swallowed, Adam's apple bobbing. It's beautiful. You're a genius. A beat. Then quieter. Riley couldn't make it. Fight. The usual. Sympathy warred with spite. Good, part of me thought, then shame for it. Sucks. Want a drink. We found a quiet alcove, beers in hand. The party's hum a distant roar. He unloaded. Her jealousy over our time. Accusations of me being too close. Like, what the fuck? You're my best friend. His free hand gripped the bottle tight, knuckles white. Told her that. She flipped. I nodded, words careful. Boundaries, maybe. She's threatened. By you. He laughed. Sharp. Never. You're Everything is. The word hung, waited, his eyes dark in the low light. The air thickened, that familiar charge crackling. He stepped closer. No, we did. Until his chest brushed mine, breath sinking. I've been an idiot. Jake. His hand cupped my jaw, thumb tracing my lip, tentative. That night in Big Sur, when I moved closer, I wasn't asleep. I felt it. All of it. Confession spilled. Raw. The confusion, the denial, Riley as a shield against what scared him most. You. It's always been you. Time splintered. I kissed him then. Not soft, not tentative, but desperate, years of pent-up storm breaking free. He met it fierce, hands fisting my shirt, pulling me under. The world narrowed to salt and heat, his stubble scraping mine, a groan vibrating from his chest that undid me. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed, the party forgotten. But Riley, fuck Riley, his voice cracked, fierce. I'm done hiding, done pretending this, he gestured between us, isn't real. We left together, his hand in mine as we slipped into the night. LA's pulse thrumming approval. My apartment, once a tomb of solitude, bloomed alive. Clothes shed in a trail to the bed, bodies rediscovering what intuition had always known. Him above me, then beneath, whispers turning to gasps, the mattress creaking our symphony. No more shared sheets as brothers. This was claim, surrender, the line redrawn in sweat and sighs. Dawn found us tangled, his head on my chest, fingers tracing lazy circles on my hip. Scared, I asked, voice rough. Terrified, he tilted up, eyes vulnerable. The boy from the dorms, unarmored. But worth it. You're worth it. We didn't rush labels, gay, bi, whatever. Just us navigating the mess. He ended it with Riley that week. Clean break over coffee. Her tears met with honesty. I love him. Have for years. Fallout followed. Mutual friends picking sides. Whispers in group chats. But we weathered it. Road tripping again. This time to Joshua Tree. Stars blanketing the desert as we lay in the Jeep's bed. Hands linked. Months blurred. Him coaching Pee Wee League in the valley. Me landing a gallery rep in Silver Lake. Fights came. His internalized crap bubbling up. My insecurities flaring. But so did makeups. Fiercer. Deeper. One night, post-argument over his lingering glances at bar guys. Jealousy, mutual now. He dropped to one knee in our kitchen. Not a ring, but a key. Move in? Make this official? Tears stung. Hell yes. A year on, we're still figuring it. Therapy sessions in WeHo, pride parades with rainbow flags whipping in the wind. Jake's out to his folks. Rocky, but progressing. Mine beaming from Boston via Zoom. It's not fairy tale. It's human, flawed, fierce, profoundly ours. That first night in the driftwood, it wasn't the beginning. It was the spark. And in the quiet moments, when he moves closer and steals my breath, I remember. Love isn't straight lines. It's the curves, the cliffs, the endless blue, the forgetting and the finding your way home.